This video continues right where my Lies of P playthrough stopped. Since I'm not going to take this game and video seriously, I'm going to put the appropriate costume for Pinocchio, the one he deserves, the one that resembles the fandom accurately. We beat the dead horse as symbolism.
You're the devil's puppet. You can't sneak past me. Die!
And now that we beat the horse, a donkey is mad. That's not even a real donkey, it's a fairy. And guess what? It's a boss fight. We were this close to a boss fight and the fucking game crashed. So about this stupid boss fight, the attacks are already horribly telegraphed. It's like the second boss fight and they just could not help themselves. All of his attacks are frontal, they can't reach to the sideways, but they all look very similar to each other. Some of them are just faster, some of them are delayed, very confusing telegraphed visuals. Learning how to parry these garbage attacks would take some time, but thankfully you can just dodge sideways. And unless he's using his fast attacks, you will be able to dodge most of them. So in my first try I was trying to parry him and it didn't end up well, but at least I know what to do in my second try. Just dodge sideways, and from what I saw you can even backstab him.
It's destroyed. Cursed puppet! Back again!
There is nothing hard about this boss fight by any means, but of course there is a lot of luck involved, like sometimes the backstab indicator doesn't appear, and of course you can't use the backstabs without it. It has typical junky bullshit, like all the Souls-likes. The boss will also dodge roll out of the way sometimes, making the fight way more tedious, but again it's nothing because the health and damage of the boss are way too low. You can pretty much handle him easily and you are allowed to make many mistakes. And then you have the typical losers in the comment sections saying, "Oh, I beat this boss fight in my first try, that means I'm way better than you." Like, motherfucker, you are just outing yourself as someone with zero IQ and zero social life. Not only did you fail to realize that the games you are playing are luck based, since the enemy AI behavior can be completely random. Sometimes they play well and sometimes they allow you to bully them. Sometimes they use attacks that can be seen easily and other times they go apeshit on you. So not only did you fail to see all that, but you are also trying to brag about something that no one in the entire history of humanity has ever given a fuck about. Like, dude, your own parents don't give a fuck about your real life, your mental or physical health, the quality of your life, your happiness or your sadness, but you expect some random people on the internet to not only believe your words, but also care about your so-called accomplishments in shitty casual video games. You are trying to gain internet brownie points when there aren't even any to gain there, because you know you are so worthless. You just have to build your shattered ego with the most pointless delusions. I beat it in my first try. Yeah, and I beat your mother when she was pregnant, which is why you turned out to be so ugly and so stupid. After the stupid donkey boss fight, there is an area with enemies that we have seen before, nothing new or interesting happening. The level design is also straightforward. There is also another mini-boss that we have already seen and fought. The game literally offers nothing new until we reach shortly the next boss fight. And we get introduced to the summoning mechanic, which allows you to cheese the bosses. This stupid boss fight has a weird unblockable attack where it's moving its hands all over everywhere like a maniac, but only the final hit can damage you. Like, what kind of stupidity is that? Why not hit me with all these hand movements and just do them for show? It's so confusing visually and it's immersion breaking too. Like, what's stopping the boss from actually attacking me with its hands that fast all the time? Souls-likes are so stupid, they just constantly insult the intelligence of the player, and the players must be brain dead so they won't have to actually think about anything and accept everything, every shit that's thrown at them, the way it is, no questions asked. It's such a stupid attack and it wastes so much of your time for no reason too. Like, I have to wait for the animation to end and time the parry button with a final hit without really knowing the timing, because making a stupid trial and error game that constantly kills the player isn't bad enough. We need to give the enemies some heavy delayed animations to waste the player's time even more. This boss also has some electric attacks that cause you the shock ailment, and it also puts some electrifying areas on the ground, which you can't see sometimes because the boss is jumping high on the air and the camera is focusing towards it, making you unable to see the ground. It's so stupid, they are like barely putting any mechanics or gimmicks and they still can't figure out a way to combine them properly without making the game garbage, without having them stand in each other's way. Either don't give the boss jump attacks or don't let it put electrifying areas on the ground. It has some huge delayed swing attacks, it's like Elden Ring all over again, and it also has a grab attack that looks very similar to the heavy swing attacks, except you obviously can't parry the grab, you have to move out of the way, but you can barely tell if it's going to hit you or grab you, because the attacks are terribly telegraphed. They look very similar to each other. What a pointlessly shitty boss fight. They put these shitty bosses back to back after very short periods of time, as if they are good or something. Like, the bosses are by far the shittiest parts of the Souls games. Do they think they are epic fights because they designed them to look huge and cinematic? It's all just a show for fucking downies. After beating that trash boss fight, we unlock the skill tree, which is named P-Organ. They think they are so funny with their shit. So now that we are going to have a skill tree, we will have some RPG options, right? It's time to roleplay in this totally role-playing game, right? Let's see what they've got. One of the options allows you to dodge while you are in the middle of another dodge. Incredible mechanic. Like, this shit should have been a default mechanic, but since these losers don't know how to make an RPG, they remove basic mechanics that should have been in the game by default, and they put them to a skill tree to give you the illusion of progress and choice. What a bunch of losers. Next time, hide the blocking, sprinting and jumping mechanics in the skill tree as well. Fucking losers. The other options are increase the number of potions. Incredible. Another unique option that totally has to do with RPG mechanics and clearly not something they put because they have no clue how to make an actual skill tree. Then we have the option to add an extra fable slot, which is like your mana to do the weapon special attacks. This is just increasing your stats. It doesn't add any depth, it doesn't add anything. And then we also have increase staggerable window, the time of enemy staggerable status, so you can have more time to break their guard and do an execution attack. Incredible stuff right there. Great options. This is a no-brainer. Obviously you are going to increase the amount of potions because they are objectively the better choice. You will have way more life, way more chances of surviving in all kinds of fights, especially in the early game where you need these potions and they are strong enough to almost fill your entire health. So this kind of fake skill tree options, along with the fake leveling up the status options, because let's be honest, you need to level up your health so you can survive, it's objectively the best options. It's the same in all the Souls likes. And before you gain one of these abilities, you need to fill the 2 slots with the quartz item, which allow you some extra options in customizing your character. And guess what? All these options are also pretty basic status increasing. Increasing damage of specific attacks or increasing the amount of health potions restore, reducing the damage you take when you are guarding. It's all basic simple stuff. So you have the illusion of picking a class, the illusion of leveling up choices, and the illusion of skill tree choices. Incredible RPG right there. These losers have zero clue how to make an action game and how to make an RPG, but their garbage games are worshipped as masterpieces. As long as you find the dumbest audience, you can sell them shit in exchange of gold. The quartz items that are used to upgrade your skill tree appear at the shop as you progress the game, meaning they don't even give you the option of choosing between using your currency to either level up or upgrade your skill tree. You need to do things in a specific order as the game wants you to. They just can't let you have any real choices because they know their shitty low effort game will easily break. We unlock the next phase of the skill tree, and guess what? The next abilities are all garbage as well. Who would have thought, right? Decrease damage taken when guarding, increase the number of potions again, increase the number of amulets. Like, these people are completely out of ideas. They don't know what to do with their game.